All right. The next one, any particular or number of items that you can throw at the audience here. What are the best practices in delivering and or receiving feedback?
Okay. So interesting. My honest thoughts on this is that performance conversations and kind of similar kind of conversations, most of the time you find managers who know it all speaking, and basically what happens is the employee gets bulldozed. And if you do bulldoze, what happens is you're going to kill the creativity, kill the flair of the person. So one of the golden rules on conversations with employees, and I will tell you this, I am a kind of a fan of Simon Sinek. He does leadership talks, and he makes a lot of sense in terms of he's very practical. I see him very practical. And what he says is that, and which I also believe totally, is that you need to give opportunity for the person to speak up. In a conversation, a leader or a manager should only talk about 20%, 30%. And you need to give a 70% opportunity to listen. And I think this is one of the golden rules of feedback and conversations. Even if you're giving feedback to somebody, you need to first listen to the perspective of the other person. Then only that you will really understand why somebody does what he or she does, right? And then you kind of basis that. You most probably as a leader don't need to speak much because you already understand the perspective of your team member. So it's only a matter of tweaking their thought process. And feedback is about trying to give tweaks to a person, right? So ideally, I recommend it. Even in my company, we recommend this, and it's a coaching approach that we take in performance conversations. It's largely got to do with asking questions like, how do you think you kind of achieved on this objective? Do you think you went right? What did you do well? What do you think needs to improve? Or what would you do differently? When your team member answers these questions, you immediately know the perspective or the thinking process of your team member. And you as a leader, you can quickly tweak. You don't have to repeat, you don't have to redo it. You only need to tweak and kind of bring the person into perspective. And the last thing that I want to mention is, as soon as you give opportunity to your team members, they automatically get this feeling of being heard. This is something that is very important. You need to give opportunity for people to speak up, give their views, and that creates not only a good conversation, but it actually creates a good engagement. It gives people automatic value that they are needed, they are wanted, they are heard. That's kind of the crux of having a coaching conversation. And so feedback in a coaching format, that's basically what I kind of recommend.
I think on the other side of the coin is like you're giving the feedback, like as an employee, the same things is kind of apply, right? You want to also be receiving the feedback. You have to have open mind and you want to be actively listening for that 20% of the time. The leader has done a lot of homework to give you feedback. It's not just his opinion. He has taken collective feedback. Usually companies do 360 feedback these days, like you're getting feedback from other people. Spend time synthesizing that, finding, thematically what kind of consistent good and negative feedback the person is getting. And you should really listen in and take it positively and find out the areas that you can convert into your development plan for the coming year.